Fair Anita is a social enterprise. We work with 8,000 women in 9 countries, survivors of sexual and domestic violence, and our goal is to create fair trade, sustainable jobs for women. So we sell cute, ethical, and affordable jewelry and accessories. So I started Fair Anita in 2015. We're incorporated as a public benefit corporation. So our mission is really core to who we are. I started it because of my own history with rape and sexual violence. And so we work with other survivors around the world. And financial insecurity is the #1 reason why women stay in abusive partnerships. So our goal is, can we create very sustainable livelihoods for women so they can potentially leave an abusive partner, or they're seen as having more worth in their own home, so their abuse levels go down. So I manage Fair Anita here in St. Paul, Minnesota, alongside an incredible team of women. It's just me and myself and a coworker, Anna, who work full-time on the operation. So Anna is one of my best friends, also my roommate. So I'm in a situation that most business professors would tell you to never do, but I think we do it pretty well. She manages more of our day-to-day pieces, whereas I'm figuring out like how do we grow, and I also manage a lot of our artisan relationships and finances, all that kind of good stuff. And then we have another 6 women who help us run pop-up shops. So we sell in a number of different venues. We sell our products online, wholesale, and then also in pop-up shops, primarily here around the Twin Cities, although a few in Wisconsin as well. And as a result, we have some part-time staff that help us make those markets possible. We should hit about $1 million in revenue this year, which we're really excited about. I guess only 5% of female entrepreneurs hit $1 million in annualized revenue, so we're excited about that. And last year we sent $315,000 to our artisan partners around the world, and that's money that'll be regenerative income for them in their communities for years to come, and hoping to grow that number this year as well. So we work with 8,000 women in 9 countries. They're organized into 19 different cooperatives, and those cooperatives are independently run by women in the local communities. So we do most of the design work, and then the women in these cooperatives are actually making the products. We pay them at least 2 to 3 times minimum wage, plus health insurance and educational scholarships, support a number of community programs as well. But ultimately, it doesn't look like I'm directly managing 8,000 women. They're managing themselves, and it's women in their local communities who are doing that, which I think is really important also. There's countless stories of incredible women that we work with. Some of the women that we work with in Ethiopia, for example, my necklace is made from recycled bullet casings. And so there's a group of about 200 women there, and they're going out, they're collecting shell casings from the Ethiopian-Eritrean War, melt them down, make the beads, make the jewelry, and then we partner together on what that design looks like, and then we sell it for them across the United States and Canada. This has been especially important for these women. A lot of these women have escaped sex trafficking or prostitution, or have a HIV or AIDS status. And a lot of times, given an HIV status, women are deeply, deeply discriminated against for this, to a point that like a landlord could kick you out of your apartment right away once they find out your HIV status. And so having a sustainable income has allowed all of these women actually to purchase their own home, which has been really important for the safety of the women and, you know, their families and their futures. Yeah, so we work with 8,000 women in 9 countries around the world, and of course, every single woman has a story of how a fair trade job has impacted her life, and how she's used it as a tool to create a better life for herself. There's a few women who have given us permission to share those stories. One that comes to mind is Maritza, who lives in Chimbote, Peru. It's one of the largest, poorest cities in the world. 80% unemployment rate. Maritza was living on about $1 a week. So way below extreme poverty line. And Maritza herself lives with numerous severe disabilities. So she lives her life in a wheelchair, and she was living like down a set of stairs. It was her and her 3 kids were living on this mattress. And so her kids were gonna have to carry her, well, we're carrying her up and down these stairs every day. But she was advocating for herself. She started working with Anita, who's actually the namesake of our company, and she got a better home for herself. So it's a cement floor, cement walls, it's handicap accessible, which is really fantastic. And she wanted to pay it forward. So she started training 10 other women with physical disabilities. She taught them how to make jewelry. And now as this collective, they're able to export their jewelry to the United States, and they sell through Fair Anita. But Yeah, one of my happiest moments probably, or proudest moments, was being able to give these women their first paychecks. So it wasn't like their first paycheck through us, it's the first paycheck they've ever received. And you can kind of imagine the sense of dignity that comes along with this too. Like, I'm able to provide for myself and my children and my families. And now they run, they've independently organized a few different community programs that they use the profits to create. So every Christmas time, they go around and they make these little baskets full of rice and milk and essentials, and they bring it to some of the poor families around their community. And it's just, I think, a testament to what women do when they're employed. And, they say that when women are involved in the formalized economy, sales of bread and milk go up, as opposed to alcohol and gambling by men. The United Nations states that for every dollar a woman makes, between 80 and 90 cents goes back into our families and communities, as opposed to 30 to 40 cents by men. And so really with Fair Anita, our goal is how can we invest in that statistic? How can we invest in women and positively transform entire communities just by employing women? In 10 years from now, I really hope that Fair Anita is a leader in ethical supply chains, and we're able to help other, even larger organizations change their supply chains, and so they're empowering people rather than exploiting them. Millennials are more and more demanding this, right? So The Economist, there's a statistic that says 92% of millennials are more likely to purchase a mission-based product if they're given a comparable alternative. And so we want to see more companies giving them that comparable alternative, and so we're able to see mission-driven businesses thrive, ethical supply chains thrive, and so people aren't being stepped on in the supply chains. So part of our role with that in Fair Anita is how can we build out these ethical supply chains so they run really smooth. A lot of times fair trade supply chains are called inefficient supply chains. There's many reasons for that, but how can we build this system out so that kinks are already worked out? We prove that we can be profitable and do a lot of good in the world at the same time, and then help other companies take this on. And then at the same time, we really want to help our customers here. Like, how do we change habits of consumerism to better think through who are the people behind these products when I purchase it off a shelf at whatever store. I'm an entrepreneur because I love solving challenges, and I think social challenges are some of the greatest ones to tackle. It's been really rewarding for me to wake up every day and work on something that I'm so deeply passionate about. There's a quote by this Aboriginal woman in Australia, and she says something to the lines of, if you've come to help me, you're wasting your time, but if you've come because your liberation is bound together with mine, then come and let us work together to create change. And that's what I think of as an entrepreneur. Like, I have a history of rape, of sexual violence. I've felt that oppression. I feel that oppression on a regular basis. And to build partnerships with women who have been in similar situations, albeit from entirely different geographies, when we can figure out how to partner together and create a way that we can both thrive, it's just been a really beautiful, rewarding thing. My advice for student entrepreneurs is always to try it now. Like, while you're in college, you have this entire support system that's designed to help you. Like, give it a shot, test it out, fail, test it again. But I think doing it now is of utmost importance. I think, everybody's busy. You're not going to get less busy after college. And at this point, you have college professors that you can go to and be like, hey, can you look over these finances? Like, after college, you have to pay for that. And, you can reach out to any CEO and be like, hey, I'm a student. Can I interview you about this or whatever? And people are excited to share their knowledge with you as a student. Whereas sometimes after college, you're seen a little bit more as competition. So I'm wholeheartedly support student entrepreneurs and trying it out in college. I also think just if you're debating between whether you should be an entrepreneur or take maybe a more traditional job path, like, is it going to be something you regret later in life? For me, it was really convenient that I started this when, I didn't have a mortgage on a home, like I didn't have children or, partner or any of these things. So I could take those risks and design a life that I'm really passionate about. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything.